Warning, content may be unsuitable for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome, faithful viewers, to all things creepy and macabre. I am your hostess on this journey, Creepy Carrie, and welcome to Terrifying Tales. While there is no doubt slavery in America was one of the most heinous and reprehensible dark chapters in our history, one of the worst examples of this horrible practice was none other than Madame Delphine LaLaurie of New Orleans. Her crimes will be burned into Louisiana and America's history forever. Now please join me on this terrifying tale that is Madame Delphine LaLaurie. Delphine McCarthy was born in Louisiana on March 19, 1787. She lived a privileged life of wealth and grew up in high society. As the years passed, Delphine would marry 3 times. Her first marriage was in June of 1800. However, her first husband died suddenly in 1804, but not before fathering the first of what would become 6 children for Madame. In 1808, she married for the second time. This time, the marriage would result in 4 daughters. In 1816, her second husband passed away, leaving Delphine widowed yet again. But not to worry, she was to find love one more time in life. In 1825, she married Leonard LaLaurie, a doctor. At some point before the marriage, she had given birth to her son, fathered by Mr. LaLaurie. This was her last child to be born. This was not the happiest of unions, as at some point during the marriage, Delphine had filed a separation of sorts, claiming her husband had done something unproductive to the union, which, in the verbiage from that time, meant he couldn't keep his affections in his marital bed. However, Delphine must have forgiven him, and besides, she had more pressing matters to attend to. She purchased in 1831 and was the deed holder to the property that would become the infamous House of Horrors at 1140 Royal Street. It would appear that Madame LaLaurie was the head of the household, and her husband was merely a figurehead in her life, a status symbol, if you will. Madame LaLaurie had her sights set on a grand mansion, equipped with slave quarters and all. She had a 2-story mansion finished on her property in 1832. Now, stories vary on what all she did to her slaves throughout that time that she lived on this property. At one point, her actions led to the law stepping in and taking away slaves for mistreatment. But ever the clever girl, she simply had relatives buy her slaves and give them back to her. There is also proof that at one point she freed 2 of her own slaves. If only she was so kind all of the time, she would not have gained the notoriety for being a monster. One thing that is known for sure, she was known to viciously beat, torture, and starve her slaves. Her daughters would even be beaten if they fed the slaves. One incident that helped bring down the house of LaLaurie was witnessed by a neighbor. Madame LaLaurie was seen chasing a young child onto the roof of her home, wielding a whip. It's said that the child was brushing Delphine's hair and she hit a tangle, which angered Delphine enough to send her chasing the child onto the roof, where the girl chose to jump to her death rather than face the lady of the house. The child was to become one of 12 bodies to be found on the property. On April 10, 1834, there was an event to take place that would forever blow the lid off what was really going on at the house of LaLaurie. A slave woman was found chained to the stove after she set a fire in the kitchen. When authorities arrived and found her, they asked why she had set the fire. Her response would shock the city of New Orleans to its core. She told them that she would rather kill herself than to be taken to the uppermost room of the house, for anyone that was sent there would never be seen again. The bystanders that had gathered to the house began looking around the house and property. When they asked for the keys to the slave quarters, the request was refused by the family. Not to be deterred, they simply broke down the doors. What they were to find there was beyond their comprehension. When they entered the slave quarters, they found exactly why she would rather die than be sent to that room. They found 7 slaves in horrible conditions, emaciated, horribly mutilated, and hanged by their necks with their extremities stretched and torn. One slave woman had on an iron collar around her neck, and an elderly slave woman had a serious head wound, so bad that she couldn't even walk on her own. The slaves showed signs of having been flayed by whips, and were kept in restrictive positions and poses, as well as been made to wear spiked iron collars designed to keep their heads still. The atrocities discovered at the house led to the bystanders to take out vigilante justice. They tore down everything that they could. There were 12 bodies discovered on the property, including a child's body found in a well. The police took her remaining slaves to the jail to basically put them on display, so everyone could see just what Delphine had done to her slaves. In the aftermath of the discovery, Delphine and her family fled to Paris, France. She remained there until her death on December 7th, 1849, at the age of 62. Finally, the monster of New Orleans was dead. Thank you for watching my first video, and if you enjoyed it, please hit that like button, and please subscribe to my channel, as I plan on bringing you faithful viewers many more videos on a variety of topics of the dark and macabre. So, until next video, I'm Creepy Carrie, and this has been Terrifying Tales. Sleep well, faithful viewers.